transaction securely. Okay, so what does it mean, like decentralized? Decentralized means you can see the picture. Okay, so we have lots of nodes which are connected with each other. Okay, and they have each have the copy of that exact copy of that ledger. So if some transaction is added or something happened, so all ledger are get updated on each node. So even one node get outside of network, something happens, still we have our ledger copy distributed across the other nodes. So that's why it's secured, or we can say decentralized. Okay. So what does it mean, tamper proof? Like I mentioned, we have ledger copy across the all nodes. So if any node try to change or something, it's not possible because that blockchain is connected in a such way that it hashes the previous block. Okay, means the block contain the hash of previous block. Okay, so if something try to change, that signature don't mismatch, and that way, like other miners, or we can call it node. Okay, they invalidate that block. Okay, so that way we are not able to like change something or alter the data. Okay, so how basically blockchain works? So I already mentioned in the picture. So see, let's say we have someone want to send the transaction. Let's say we have A user, we have B user. Okay, so when A user want to send transaction to B, let's say A user create some transaction using some his wallet. Okay, then sign that transaction using private key. Now there is concept, what is the private key, what is the public key. So normally, okay, uh, each user which hold the coin, okay, they have that pair of that keys. One which called public key, which is exposed outside. We can see that public address, and private key is specifically held by that user. Okay, it is not like outside of like public things. So whenever we have to sign the transaction, user uses that private key. So what user A doing, like using some client, it's create the transaction, sign the transaction, and broadcast that transaction. So normally in the second picture, you can see that there are nodes. Nodes means you can consider it's like computer, even mobile machines. Okay, that are the nodes. Okay, so that nodes, it's we can call it miner also because they mine the block. Okay, and in the like when they mine the block, they get some rewards from the network. Network means any network, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, like that. Okay, little bit concept is different in the Ethereum, but we will go with what the Bitcoin do. Okay, so now when the transaction is broadcasted, normally network keep is like pending transaction pool. Since transaction is just broadcasted, it's in the pending state. No miners uh, like taken the transaction in the block. So normally when the transaction in the pending pool, what the blocks do, what the nodes do, they normally create the block. Okay, in that block they add the transactions from the pending pool. So here also they do not normally randomly get that transaction from the pending pool. There are also miners are little bit greedy. Okay, so when we broadcast the transaction, we also mention the fee. So normally that miners, they look for transaction which are giving highest fee. Okay, even if you go like set the less fee, that transaction anyway going to add into block, but it will be added, let's say, a little bit later as compared to the transaction having higher fee. Okay, so you can see this, the block is created. Okay, now okay, second step, like requested transaction is broadcast to the P2P network. Like I mentioned already this. Now network validate this transaction. Okay, obviously this state, like transaction is in the correct state, means using the private key transaction is signed. Okay, so they just check the transaction is valid or not. Okay, now transaction is the verified transaction. Now next is like once the verified transaction is combined with other transaction to create new block of the data of ledger. Like these steps, like I mentioned, the transaction is added into the block. Now the whoever the miner got this block, now this block, that miner broadcast that block. Okay, like he created this block. There is also algorithm like who create this block. This we will discuss later. So this block is created. This block is added. This block is added at the end. Means like new block is added. Now new block is added. So your transaction from pending, it's in the confirmation. Like transaction is completed. But now your transaction is added to the last block. Now process is continuous, ongoing. Now new block is created. That block is appended to this block, last block. Okay. So once new block is added to this last block, so you can see this like my transaction is confirmed. So confirmed by what? My transaction is confirmed by one block. Okay. So this is very important in the crypto world, that confirmation. Okay, how many confirmation we need? So this depend on the blockchain to blockchain. Someone required 3, someone required 30. So this number is high. That means we are secure, because in the next slide we are going to discuss, because there are chances of reversal also blockchain. So this is how the blockchain works. This is the overview of how blockchain works. So anyone have doubt? This is just overview. In the detail we can see in the next slides.
I have one doubt.
Yes.
So I have stupid question.
Yes.
So we have like public key and private key.
Yes.
That everyone knows.
Hmm.
But in my mind, I have mainly question like how this, let's say I have public key, right?
Hmm.
So that is my receiving address.
Hmm.
So how exactly the cryptos are received to my address? This is my question. So in terms of banking, so we generally have database in our account where adding, updating balances, or maybe adding transactions in separate tables. So we are maintaining this way. But here in blockchain, how exactly this maintained?
Okay, so like I mentioned in the first step, blockchain is nothing but like distributed ledger. Okay.
Yes.
So how it public key? So normally public key encoded as per different blockchain in the some way that it's like visible. In the you can see Bitcoin. So Bitcoin address, I can show you. Okay, so in the Bitcoin, let's say, is this visible?
Yes, visible.
Now?
Consider it is
Okay. So we have a pair of public key, private key. Even public key, private key is like in the hex form. Okay. So this is the public key, like how we can show as an address. So somehow each blockchain encode something and show this as an address. Okay. So now this address and every address, obviously this is linked to our public key. So whenever we are sending to the this address, blockchain, each blockchain, let's say Bitcoin, Ethereum, they knows, okay, money is sent to this address. So like that in the ledger, in the digital format, they maintain that you have, this is the input. Okay, so this address got this input. So it's incoming amount. Okay, if you send the money, it shows as an output. Okay, and that way it's calculate input and output, and it show, okay, what you have balance. This way blockchain works.
So for every public key, so in blockchain there is some ledger, right?
Yes, ledger of input and output.
And what is the relation with those nodes?
Just a second.
And just an additional question to that, like how many transactions are there in a block?
Okay, normally block size are depend on coins to coins. Bitcoin have around 1 MB. Okay, so transaction is not fixed. They take like 15 transactions, 20 transactions, and there is no fixed number. Normally they take the transaction and they create the blocks. Sometimes like transaction is more packed, but still there is limit. Like mentioned, the block size is limited. So even the Bitcoin fork, SegWit in the 2022, they try to increase that block size. So there is dispute between that community. So new coin emerges, Bitcoin Cash, you may heard. Okay, because they wanted the big block size, because the big block size means more transactions. Okay, but original committee means they don't want like big block size, but there are another issues also with big block size. So okay, answer to your question, the transactions are not fixed. Like as per the size, they try to fit whatever the transaction they can add. One more reason is that you can see my screen, right?
Okay.
Okay, I will show you why this is not fixed. Now you can see for each transaction, you can see that like I mentioned, there is inputs and outputs. So how Bitcoin works? Okay, Ethereum works differently. Bitcoin works differently. So now let's say I have to send. Okay, this is already considered in the next screen, but I will explain here. So whenever I have to send some coins, okay. So let's say I have to send 1 Bitcoin, but I don't have 1 Bitcoin in my one address. Okay. So how Bitcoin works? It scan all your addresses. Okay, combine all your addresses containing 1 Bitcoin, and there is obviously chances that it will not exactly 1 Bitcoin. It can be 1.5, 1 point or 2 Bitcoin also. Okay, so that inputs it collect. Okay, send to the party whoever we want to send the 1 Bitcoin. Okay, now even we have to send 1 Bitcoin, but how Bitcoin works? It works like our real cash. Like I have to give you 1 Bitcoin, but I have like let's consider 10 rupees note. Okay, so like real life transaction, I will give you 10 rupees. Okay, and in the return you will give me 9 rupees back. So you will get kind of 1 rupees means 1 Bitcoin. Just consider this case.
Okay.
So I mentioned you that 1 Bitcoin is the big amount, and there are chances of lots of dust transaction or lots of small transaction will be added. So as the transaction size increases, you can consider that let's say for 1 Bitcoin I have to add 100 inputs, right? 100 inputs means I'm mentioning that this is the address. From this address I'm using 0.1 Bitcoin. This is the address from this I'm using 0.00029 Bitcoin. Okay, so
Yeah.
this can be like more. So transactions become more. Since
When-
the transaction size we cannot control, it's depend on the input. So block containing transaction also vary.
Okay, I got your point. So there can be a number of transactions in one
Block,
exchange,
yes,
right?
yes. Block can have multiple transactions.
Correct. So the example that you mentioned, wherein let's say if I want to give 1 Bitcoin to some other person, correct, and it can be like from multiple accounts. Okay. So how is that transaction executed? So for example, if I want to transfer 1 Bitcoin to you, you mentioned that there are it may be collected from 5 different accounts and then given to you. Correct.
Yes, yes.
So how does Bitcoin know that I have 5 different accounts?
How Bitcoin find?
Know that I have 5 different accounts.
Okay. Normally, whenever we are using the wallet itself has multiple addresses created in the wallet, Bitcoin wallet.
Yes.
Okay. So it scan all your addresses and check which has balance or not.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And this does not apply to the Ethereum. Ethereum is little bit different. Only it with Bitcoin is like a real cash transaction, and Ethereum we can say like bank transfer. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone doubt?
Question is like you mentioned that any block we have created that need to be authorized or validated by other 2 or 3 nodes. As per my knowledge, the majority of nodes need to be verified that. Then only we can say that.
Okay.
Node is valid.
Okay, I mentioned 2, 3 just for example. There are thousands node. Okay, so Bitcoin's first rule or major rule, longest is correct. So whoever has the longest chain, they consider this is the valid, and there are small chain, they just discard that chain. That's why I said why to wait for confirmation. If you with one confirmation you said that okay, transaction is done, you sold something. Okay, but let's say just one confirmation, there are split of like blockchain. Okay, and there is another longest blockchain. So first blockchain is discarded, the transaction going into that pending state. Okay, and new blockchain is considered as the valid. So all minus what they decide, there are split of blockchain who is the longest. that they decide as
It
the
means, where is majority that block
Correct.
should be valid.
that chain will be correct. Yes. Yes.
Yes, question.
Next question.
Yes, सर ये जो कोई blocks है जो ledger कहलाता है, this one block is one whole ledger or this combination of blocks is one ledger.
No. One block is like combination of transactions. Okay, I will show you.
Block is a bundle of.
See, you can see this block.
Yes.
Yeah. So what block here? Block number, timestamp. What was the previous block hash? Data. Data. Okay. Data means all transactions, and transactions means transaction also has data. What transaction or data? From address, true address, amount. What is the fee? Okay, and the transaction hash, or we can call it transaction signature. Okay, so this is the one block.
And the whole chain is the complete ledger.
Yes, you can say that whole chain is the complete ledger.
So this whole chain is stored at every peer's.
Yes. So full node of blockchain, it's in the, I guess, many GBs. It's big wallet, and it is duplicated across the all nodes. Means all nodes have same copy. So even one node something happened, no worry, we have lots of other nodes. It's not, that is called decentralized, not centralized.
Everyone decide to stop, then
Everyone decide to stop them. Okay, obviously it will stop.
So is there no limit to the number of transactions? Because like, let's say if we keep on increasing the number of transactions,
So
Add more money. So the greed is there. So
Yeah,
until
that's-
unless greediness is there, this is going to be survived.
yes, miners are greedy. Sorry, Ronak, what was your question?
my question is like, let's say if we keep on adding the blocks
Mhm.
on each and every node, is there
Hmm.
any limit to that node? Like, let's say if today the node consists of the data of 50 GBs, tomorrow it might be 500 GBs, and then
Yes.
it keep on increasing.
Yes, correct.
So how do we limit that?
No, we can't. It's going to increase.
Oh man.
That's a Bitcoin blockchain is like even every blockchain, but as compared to others, Bitcoin size is like, okay, I don't know now exact size. I checked way back in 2017-18, but it is in the GBs. And
total size.
huh?
Total size.
Yeah, total size node.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's going to increase as the block increases. It's going to increase.
Okay.
Anyone? Any doubt? Okay, Datta just checked. As of 2024, it's 5,000 GB.
At what basis it get increased?
Sorry.
At what basis it gets
Transaction.
Transaction data is going to add it in the each block, right? Each block has many transactions.
Hmm.
So currently it's 5,450 GB.
It's
Yeah.
growing continuously.
It's going increasing continuously.
5 terabytes already. So if you want to create a node, you need to first have 5 terabytes of
Uh, yeah, so in the 2017 I tried to load that node, but obviously this is not full node. There are a lighter version of node also. So concept is little bit different. They keep some just not exactly that transaction entire details, some few details. Okay, I don't remember exactly what they keep, but this is called light node. They not keeping exact copy of ledger. They just keeping lightweight version. Okay.
Kunal, sir, one doubt regarding the you said miners are greedy, and you said that one transaction requires different number of validations. So sometimes it can be like depending on network, of course, network and coin. So sometimes it can be 5 or 30. So in this, when the miner is awarded, so is it the first miner who does the validation? Let's say if there are total 8 validations required, will this
No,
fee? Mhm.
There is no concept of edge validation. The confirmation I'm talking about.
Yeah, confirmations, yes.
The valid network itself just valid. There is okay dedicated some nodes. They just validate transaction. Transaction is correct or not. That's it.
I think this question is that the miners, they are getting rewards, right?
Yes.
So how they are validated, those rewards? They
Basically question is, okay, we have this what is confirmation. So let's say there's a feed, let's say it is 0.002 BTC for one particular transaction. So is it split between, let's say, eight people who are doing this validation, or
No.
is it just given to the first person?
Okay, I will explain. Actually, already it's in the next slide. Okay.
Achha.
Okay. Transaction.
The gradient will say will come cover in the next one.
Okay. Okay, we will discuss in next slide.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, because in this screen entire then session will complete. Okay, so where blockchain is used. So now we already working on cryptocurrency. So everyone know that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, Solana, like lots of cryptocurrency. Currently there are more than 10,000 or maybe 50,000 coins. Okay, so obviously one thing is cryptocurrency, smart contract. You may heard this concept, smart contract. Means it's like piece of code. Okay, executing automatically. It's like just layer on the blockchain. This is the smart contract. I will explain in the next slide. And banking finance. Okay, so banking also now using their private blockchain and using currency using that blockchain for the fast transfer and secure transfer. Okay, so these are just basic example. Blockchain are currently using in the many fields. Okay, so let's go to the next. I will skip this slide. Okay, why I skip? Because in the next slide I'm like featuring what are the blockchain features. And there is already gone, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So first feature, decentralized. Like we already discussed this slide earlier. What does it mean? You can see this image. Okay. Centralized means consider this is the centralized entity, our code or database or ledger. It's only at central place. Other nodes are just using it. Okay. If something happened to this central DB or central things, then like you lost entire things, like in the centralized things. But in the decentralized, you can see each node are communicating with all others. Okay, and each having copy of that ledger across the nodes. So this is the decentralized. And one interesting thing is that no one controls it. Okay, like centralized, consider, let's say we are keeping our database on the Amazon, so Amazon is controlling it. Let's say banking example, we are keeping our money in the bank, SBI, ICICI, they are controlling us, right? But decentralized, no one controlling it. Okay, so if we have money, we can spend at our own will. No one going to stop you, unless you are money in the exchanges. That is the different concept. Okay, so this is the decentralized things. No single owner, lots of nodes, and they like communicate with each other and they broadcast the things, whatever the transaction we got. So next thing is immutable. Like I mentioned, the once the transaction is the record in the block, okay, it cannot be altered. So you can see this chain of transaction, chain of the block. Each block has some transactions as well as blocks timestamp, what was the previous hash and current hash of that block. Okay, so now you can consider this, why it cannot change. So now you can see first block, second block, third block. Now I want to change some content of second block. Okay, if I try to change the content of, I mean, miner try to change or someone hacker try to change this content of block 2 have some data. So what happens if you change the content, your current block hash will get changed. So miners normally validate blocks, right? So they see this sign is not matching, so they discard this block. Okay, so this way you cannot like broke this chain, because the next block you have the sign of the previous block. Now in the slide I mentioned the 51% attack. So I said that it cannot be altered, but it can be altered also. So it's two-way. So how? Let's say what is the 51% attack? This is theoretically possible, practically not that possible. Okay. So what is the 51% attack? Let's say we have lots of nodes, right? So just assume you have 100 nodes and someone acquired 51 nodes. Acquire means they lobbied, okay, like control that 51%, 51 nodes, and they say now we can change these things. So how they can change these things? So they will create their own block, okay, add the transaction, create one block, but they are not broadcasting it. What they are doing, adding block, making chain, okay, making longest chain. And once longest chain is created, they broadcast it. So what other miners do, they think this is the longest chain and this is the correct. So other miners add next block to their chain, not to the original chain. So this is the 51% attack. Till now, this has not happened with Bitcoin, and it's not possible. But I think some Ethereum Classic something happened. Not related to this, but some happened. So we can say it's mutable, but there is still theoretically possible, like 51% attack. Okay. Any doubt on this? Like I already mentioned, Bitcoin rule, longest chain is correct chain. And that's why 51% attack can happen.
So if we don't have the longest chain rule, then this attack is not possible.
Then there is the protocol, like who to believe, majority to believe.
The whole chain, if you want to believe.
Sorry?
Like, instead of longest chain rule, we'll have the whole chain rule. Check the whole chain from starting to end.
It takes two.
See, current block, Vedanta, can you check? It's lots of block.
That will take time, but we can prevent this attack.
No, but this is not possible. No? Like we have lots of miners and entire across the world getting 51% nodes is not possible.
That is okay. He's saying that if we eliminate the rule of
Okay.
longest chain, then never be any attack. Correct, Piyush?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there any other possibility of an attack if we do not rely on the longest chain?
Actually, Bitcoin's core principle is depend on long chain.
That is okay.
Yeah.
Remove the Bitcoin. Talk
Okay.
about other coins.
Mhm.
In this case,
Okay, now consider Ethereum and other. Instead of working on that, lots of miners, they have validator. Okay, and validator is like chosen validator. Like you have to stake coins. Okay, and whoever stake more coins, they have rights to like create the block. So kind of they are little bit controlled, not distributed. It's still distributed, but like controlled. But come to the Piyush question that longest chain.
it is possible.
There's
We
even
as a
actually-
team, we can decide, to do something, we can do that. You to my, I will have
उसका
to.
negative points होंगे।
Huh?
Negative points जो है ना,
The Q1 is like something is a bigger number, so you need a good amount of people to agree on.
Yes.
That is why we.
Kunal sir, in the meantime, regarding your comment on particular validators, so those validators are chosen at randoms, or they're like, is there any algorithm to it?
Okay. So anyone can become node and join the network. So you have to run that Bitcoin software. Okay, obviously they managed by community. So you can use your CPU machines and join that network. So anyone can join. There is no selection for Bitcoin. You just
so-
have powerful machines.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as long as you have the currency to stake, then you can just become a validator and then continue, right?
Yes, miners. In the Bitcoin case, we can call it a miner.
Got it. Thank you.
Kunal, one more question. Let's say if one particular block ends and the next block has started to build. Okay, now there are, let's say, 10 miners competing against each other.
Like, I guess he left the call.
Who left?
Krunal. By mistake, I guess. Just a second. Someone left, and I don't know. Because that he cannot hear. That was the one where. Krunal, can you hear us? No.
Hello.
And Datta left. From Datta, the audio was being presenting, I guess.
मैं कॉल करता हूँ उसको.
दत्ता को करो.
ना दत्ता कोई करो.
अभी आ गए.
आ गया क्या?
हम्म.
कुणाल.
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, my question is, let's say there is a transaction that happened, and then in the next transaction, new block is going to form, right?
Yes. Yes.
Let's say then there are 10 different miners who are competing to create that block.
Yes.
So let's say one succeeds,
Mm-hmm.
and how the first question is how we choose that which miner's block will be choosing, and the second is, let's say if we choose one particular miner's block, what happens to the other 9 miners?
Okay. Okay. So first question is how we choose like which miner will create a block, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So next slide. This is the mechanism. We can call it protocol.
Okay.
So don't agree on the validity of transaction. Okay. Like proof of work, proof of stake, proof of history. These are the protocols mechanism. Okay. So normally proof of work used by Bitcoin, Litecoin. Earlier Ethereum also using proof of work, but I will explain that this is very costly. Like lots of CPU, lots of energy needed. Okay. And proof of stake is different one, which is Ethereum, Tron, others using. So I will explain what is the proof of work. So it will explain your, it will answer your question.
Got it.
So miners, now how there are lots of thousands miners, right? So let's check the Bitcoin case. Okay. So what is the puzzle for miners? Like you can see this image, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So in this image, you can see this. Networks is giving challenge to miners that you have to create SHA-256, double SHA-256 of data, your data. Okay. Data means that transaction hash block. Okay. Data means what? Like hash of last block of transactions means whatever the transaction block has. Okay. And second one is nonce. Nonce means random number. So what is the challenge? You have to create hash of this. Okay. And hash of this created, and if it has like let's say 10 leading zeros. Okay. If it don't have 10 leading zeros, you have to change the nonce to the 2 or what is the random number. You have to calculate that hash again. Okay. So you have to like millions times you have to calculate this hash. And finally, some miners got this second image, you can see. Okay. And they got this hash is created, and this hash has leading some 50, 16, 0, right? So, okay. So miner won this block. Okay. Miner has rights to win this block. Why? Miners or that nodes solved this puzzle. And what was the puzzle? Puzzle was that leading whatever the hash you created, leading hash should have let's say 10 zeros. Okay. And hash is not random things. What was the hash? Hash is like what are the blockchain data? Blockchain data means you have the timestamp, previous data, transactions. Okay. Plus important thing is random number, nonce. Okay. That you continuously change to meet that or solve that puzzle. Okay. Now one interesting thing is that who decides this zero? So obviously network decides this zero, and network decides this zero also. Sometimes it see every 2 weeks what network do, like I mentioned the Bitcoin, it's take 10 minutes to create one block. Okay. It's Bitcoin's kind of protocol. Okay. In the 10 minutes you are going to create one block. So in the 2 week, what network analyze what is the average time of block created? Okay. If blocks are creating faster, so what it does, it make challenge difficult. Instead of 10 zeros, it make 20 zeros. Okay, now 20 zeros are not just random. You have to make hash again and again millions times. Okay, to match this or solve this puzzle. Okay, and how this happen? Why block time can be reduced? Because let's say earlier we had only 10,000 miners, and now you got 15,000 miners. So lots of miners means there is chances of solving puzzles early. Okay, and creating blocks less than 10 minutes. Okay, so network has to manage. It should not be like faster. It consistent with around 10 minutes. Okay, and sometimes happen that earlier we had 15,000 nodes. Okay, and something happened. Let's say China banned, Russia banned. Okay, now we have only 5,000 nodes. Okay, so with 5,000 nodes, you cannot give this hard challenge, right? This 16. So, like I mentioned, every 2 weeks, it's keep challenge little bit easy as compared to other. So every 2 week, network itself change this challenge. How many leading zeros it want?
Is that answer your question, Mama?
Yeah, but
Good.
what happens in the in case of race condition?
What condition? Yes,
Race
yes, yes.
Condition.
This can also happen. There is chance. Okay. Okay. Kind of race condition means there is chance that two miner crack the that puzzle. Okay, and broadcast that block. And normally when they broadcast that block, other miner just validate. Okay, he is really solved that puzzle. Yes, has that leading zeros. Okay. Now here network latency we can call it. This play bigger role in the trouble. What happened now? Let's say miner A, miner B. Okay, they both solve the puzzle. Okay, they broadcasted their block. Okay, now I told that there are lots of nodes. So some node receive A's block, some node receives B's block. Okay, so whatever the block receive, they create their. You can see here split up kind of split up chain. You can see here.
Mhm.
Okay, now both won the these things, but problem is that it's kind of chain split into like because of that minor A and minor B both solve this puzzle. Okay, now
Mhm.
what happened? They solved. They are creating these things. Okay, now next block is created by someone else. Okay, now this block is again broadcasted, and this broadcasted added to the minors. Now
Okay.
same rule. This chain becomes bigger. Okay, so in the 2-3 blocks you miner itself identify, okay, they are attaching to the bigger chain. So this chain again discarded, and whatever the transaction having in this block, it's going to that pending pool. So this is happen with rare chance that if miner A and miner B both won this puzzle.
Oh, so they
Okay.
will be awarded the mining fees, even though their chain might not go like it may not be the final. Yes.
Like confirmation, right? You got money, but
Mhm.
it not confirm again.
Okay.
Someone is going to lose.
Yeah. So someone going to lose that reward
Hmm.
because it's not confirmed, right? See the heading of this. Why wait for confirmation?
Mhm.
Because it's just one block added and other blocks added to the below chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many blocks are needed for confirmation?
Okay. Now it's depend on money to money what risk you can take. Okay. So normally in the Bitcoin, you can consider 6 block is the safest. There is no chance to reverse it. It's
Oh.
not at all possible. But normally with a small amount of money, normally we consider 1 block as a confirmation. Okay. But if you have a little bit big money, go for 3 block. And if you are in the billions, go for 6 block.
Billions what Bitcoins or
It's worth lots of Bitcoin. Mostly banks, financial institute, they get for 6 block confirmation. That means they get for 1 hour for big amount.
Oh.
Otherwise, like I told you here also 51% attack double spend.
Mm.
That is happening. So for big amount, they wait for it. Okay, here we are. Yeah. Anyone? Any doubt? Okay, this is simple puzzle. You have to create the hash of some data. Okay, data means like transaction data, and that hash should, whatever the hash generated, they should have leading 3 zeros. Okay, so obviously in the one attempt you are not, if you are lucky, that is another case. But normally you have to do trial and error. Means many times you have to run this and check if you have leading zeros or not. And this is the complex puzzle. Okay. Yeah. Next. So this is how proof of work works. Okay. And like I mentioned, you can see that millions times they do iteration, use CPU. So Bitcoin is like more energy consuming. Okay. So lots of, you can see nodes are set up in the many countries. They are eating their energy. So this is happen with Bitcoin because of this proof of work. Okay, normally what is the proof of stake? So Ethereum also earlier using proof of work. Yes, proof of work, but I guess maybe wrong. 2022 around, they changed to the proof of stake. ठीक है, चार्जर
Yes, sir.
बारीक है तो झालं मी.
These are there.
हाँ हे चालतं. इस पे एक मिनिट.
We have a 2-minute break.
Okay, so proof of stake. So Ethereum earlier using proof of work. Now they move in the 2022, maybe wrong some years. So they are now using proof of stake. So it is little bit straightforward. So here everyone cannot become miners. You have to stake coins. Okay, and the more coins you stake, there is more chances of you are getting selected to create the block. And obviously, you are getting chance to create the block means you are getting some rewards. Okay, here is Ethereum, Tron, and other networks. There is some changes. You can see this reward. So in the Bitcoin, you get some minted coin, right? What is the block as a block reward as well as transaction fees. But in the Ethereum, mostly they rely on the transaction fees. Okay, and some chains provide that minted coin also. So proof of stake, like validated stake their coins, participate, network randomly select validated to propose and validate. Now randomly means mostly, okay, network try to do, okay, whoever has more stake coin, they try to select that validator more times to create the blocks. Okay, this is the proof of stake. Any doubt? So like you stake the coins, you participate in the block creation, and network decide like you have to given some chance to create the blocks, and in the rewards you are getting some mining fees, as well as if coin is minted, then that minted coin. Okay. So any doubt?
What if someone doesn't have any more tokens to stake and they want to start?
No, you cannot.
Kunal, sir, if this mining phase, so is the entire stake amount lost or is it partially lost?
Can you repeat your question?
So we stake tokens, we stake a particular amount of currency, let's say 32 Ethereum. So I stake it, but my hardware fails and I fail to do the mining. So in that case, will I lose the entire 32 ETH or is it a partial loss in that
No,
case?
okay. I will explain the stake concept. Okay, it's again a different concept. What is the stake? Stake means network freeze your coins. Okay, as a just kind of what we see.
Fixed deposit, we can
Like deposit. Okay, stake
fixed
is
deposit. Hmm.
stake. Consider stake as a deposit of coins. Okay, just like you are like you stake these coins, so you have some value. Okay, so stake coin, your stake coin keep as remain as it is. Okay, whatever the blocks you created and what are the fees for each transaction, you are getting that fees. Okay, let's say you have to exit from this, you don't want to do mining anymore or validation anymore, so you can unstake your coin, you will get your coin back. That was your question, right?
Yeah, it answers my question. Thanks.
Okay. Any doubt? Okay. Proof of history, I guess I will not explain it in detail. Lots of slides are pending. So, okay, kind of homework for you. Check what is the proof of history. Okay, and Solana use it. It is the one of the, or we can say top most the fastest coin. So theoretically, they achieve 65,000 transactions per second. So you can check what is the proof of history. So Solana not only use proof of history, it combine proof of history as well as proof of stake. Okay. So Bitcoin. So currently in many projects we are using Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron. So I will just go through the small intro about these things. So Bitcoin, it's like launched by 2009. Satoshi. Okay, it's anonymous user. No one know who is that Satoshi. Okay, and what is the mechanism? So it's proof of work, which I already explained. And supply, okay, how many coins it is going to create? So it has the fixed supply, 21 millions. So once it's reached the 21 millions, no more minting of coin. Okay, okay, I told many times minting of coin, minting of coin. What does minting of coin? That means whenever the block is created, okay, so reward something or get coin into circulation, network itself creates some coins. Okay, so like new coin is created, it's not taken from someone else. New coin is created, that is called minting of coin. Okay, so currently, yeah, so each block you are getting, you means miners getting 3.125 BTC as a reward as well as network fees, and every 4 years it's getting reduced by half. So once it reaches the 21 millions, now miners will not get rewards, but miners will get transaction fees. Okay, and block time is the 10 minutes. So network try like it should be around 10 minutes, not more, not less. I guess this we already discussed why weight of confirmation is needed, because there is chance of reversal. Okay, so normally many exchanges or many, okay, even at your personal level you wait for just one confirmation, but if you observe big exchanges, they wait for, let's say, Bitcoin 6 confirmation, 3 confirmation, for Ethereum like 30, 50, 60 confirmation, because they like fear there is chance of like reverse of the chain. Okay, so this is also important. Andre specifically asked me to mention these things. Okay, so address. So in the Bitcoin, what is little bit different as compared to other chain? In the Bitcoin, okay, we have mainnet and testnet. Mainnet means live chain. Testnet means it's this coin don't have any value. It's just for testing. Okay, so mainnet address normally start with 1. Okay, this is the kind of legacy address. After 2017, they did some soft fork in the Bitcoin protocol, and they added new protocol SegWit. Okay, and in the SegWit, they started address with 3 and BC1. Okay, this is just for your information. Old legacy address is also working, new address is also working, but like new addresses have some different feature. That's why they added these things. So I will not mention in the details, but just for your information, mainnet addresses 1, 3, and BC1. So these are the real addresses. Okay, and the testnet addresses for the legacy means original when Bitcoin started, it's MN, and SegWit, this new protocol added, new changes added, we can say it start with TB1. Okay, so these are the address format you can see. And one more thing, in the Bitcoin, there is very little bit smart contract things. Okay, mostly it recently added. I have not explored much. Like you observe that I'm saying one confirmation, 10 minutes, right? No one wants to wait for this 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So some like other community, they started Lightning Bitcoin network. So in the few seconds they confirm. I also don't have exact idea how they are making this Lightning, but Lightning network is like one more layer on the Bitcoin itself. So this is kind of little bit smart contract and on the Bitcoin, but not much more like we have in the Ethereum. So Ethereum, we can see the first smart contract blockchain. Okay. So 2015 it started. Like mentioned, it was using proof of work, but now they are using proof of stake. Okay. Ethereum, they don't have fixed cap. They are creating coins and coins. Okay. So how they will manage that supply, right? So there is burning concept. So whatever the fees they are getting to the network, okay, so they are burning that coin. Now, what does it mean by burning? Okay, I guess I have not added in the slide. I will explain. Okay, burning concept means sending to the some address whose keys we don't have. So basically that 0x000 address. No one has that key for this address. So burning means sending coins to the 0x0000 that address. So once you send coins to that address, no one can get it, no one can use it. So it's kind of burn that coin. So this way they try to keep balance of printing that Ethereum. Okay, and like I mentioned that validator for Ethereum, they get the transaction fees and staking rewards. Like I mentioned, they are staking coins. So as per some percentage, they are getting that reward also, staking reward. Block time for Ethereum is that 12 seconds. So in the every 12 seconds, one block is creating. Okay. Now this is Ethereum address is totally different from the Bitcoin. Okay, it starts with 0x and you can see my screen, right? Yeah.
How many slides left?
So some things are repeated, we can skip that.
No, that's okay. The
20%.
question is, it's a
Okay.
complex topic.
10, yes.
So ideally it has to be divided into two sections because one, it's very difficult to digest.
Yes.
And if you are explaining that address, better to start in the second section because address are playing the most important role.
Okay.
What do you guys suggest?
Okay, then we can do these things. We can stop here and I can take questions then.
So if you feel that one slide is needed and after that completely a new topic, then you can take this one.
Okay, one slide we will complete this Ethereum. Next are token related. So
Perfect.
that we
That's
can.
possible.
So this is the Ethereum. Like address start with 0x. Okay, and the same address is used in the. Okay, same address used in the mainnet as well as testnet. There is no difference. Okay, like Bitcoin, we have a different address for mainnet, testnet. In the Ethereum, there is no difference. Same address you can use for testnet also, mainnet also. And one more interesting thing, like Bitcoin, I said there are not kind of smart contract or token Bitcoin have, but Ethereum have that smart contract. Okay, so we currently team are using that ERC20. Okay, that we will get into next slide. But just the basic things, just consider one thing: Bitcoin, Ethereum address, they can hold balance of many tokens. Okay, they can hold balance of native coins, that is Ethereum, ETH. Same address can hold balance of USDT, USDC, and other coins. Okay, I will just show you one example. हाँ स्क्रीन दिख रहा है?
Yes.
Okay, this is one Ethereum address. Okay, and you can see lots of balance because it's Binance hot wallet. Okay, so you can see same address. Okay, same address have now lots of balances. Balances means what? Link have I have okay. It's like 500,000 link, Pepe coins. Okay, I already see this hold. Okay, so same address contain Ethereum, USDT, USDC, all these balances. So just keep in mind one address in the Ethereum contains lots of tokens, their balances
On same network.
on the same network. Yes, and the same address. Okay, as I told you, same address can be used in the testnet, but just consider testnet blockchain is different, mainnet blockchain is different. So whatever the testnet coin, it's worthless. You cannot transfer to the mainnet. Okay, so same address you can see here, Etherscan. There are 3 testnet. Earlier we are using different, but I guess they are close this testnet. Now this is the new testnet, and you can see this same address I have added in the Etherscan testnet, and you can see this balance. Balance is different, coin holding is different. Okay, but what I'm showing is that same address can be used on the testnet as well as mainnet. So I guess we can stop here and we can take more questions if anyone has doubt. How we can identify? So when you have to use mainnet, obviously that address should be pointed to the mainnet. When we are going for testing, you have to point to the testnet. Environment solution.
IDs are same.
Yeah, but in the Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin's
Address
address,
starts
it's
with-
totally different. So same address you cannot find in the testnet.
That
And-
was, let's say for at least we know it's
Yeah.
test network.
But apart from Bitcoin, mostly these smart contract things, they use same address everywhere.
It is possible like 2 private networks have same address, which is.
Yes, possible.
And suppose we are communicating with each other and making one network. It can be possible, right?
2 blockchain, right? Separate.
No, networks. As you can say.
2 blockchain means Binance and Ethereum. Okay, Binance I have not mentioned here. Binance also inspired from Ethereum, or we can say it's copied from Ethereum. Tron also inspired or copied from the Ethereum. So they follow same address format, 0x and other address. Same there, almost everything they copied. Okay, little bit concept, protocol concept is different, but same address using the mainnet, same address using the testnet. Same address can hold the balance of all token ERC20. Okay, and Tron, that USDT, okay, USDC, it's like stable coin token. That USDT in the Ethereum also, USDT on the Tron also, USDT on the Binance also, and many other coins. We support this holding of USDT token.
Question.
So question was you can merge these things, right? Sending from Binance to Ethereum, right?
Let's say like 2 networks are coming together and making one blockchain. Like you can say communicating hybrid coin.
No, 2 blockchain are totally different.
They can make a separate network.
How to make the chain?
I think so. So I read about that.
Both are totally different chains. Okay, so combining things, I don't think.
Because as explained earlier, so each block in the chain has their previous blocks signature, right?
This is another network and this is another network. They maybe can make one network or communicate with each other.
To make the one network, the chain has to be connected, right?
Okay, yes.
How it is possible? Because their signatures and everything is different, right?
No, that's okay.
No.
It's a very valid question. You proceed first. तुम्हारा कहने का मतलब है कि मेरे पास एक ही एड्रेस है जो मेरे दो ब्लॉकचेन अभी कभी गलती से अगर ऐसा हुआ दोनों ब्लॉकचेन ने मिलकर एक ही ब्लॉक पे काम किया तो किसका काउंट ऐसी पॉसिबिलिटी है नहीं
नहीं दोनों ब्लॉकचेन कंबाइन हो ही नहीं
Combine
सकते.
नहीं
The private blockchain, what you can do that I don't know.
दोनों का कोड अलग अलग है.
I think for private blockchain.
Private blockchain का possible है, but I don't know how they will do. Mostly in the whenever they are doing hard fork, like Bitcoin का hard fork हुआ था, I guess 2017 में Bitcoin cash करके आया था. So what they do at this particular block, let's say blocks are increasing, right? So 3, 4, 5, 7, 6. So they decide it's time. Okay, when they reach 50 block, it will split. So they decide for the 50 block, new chain will start. This chain will start as a block Bitcoin hash. This chain will continue as a Bitcoin original Bitcoin. So this way they did hard fork. Okay, not combine but hard fork. So combining with private, I don't know how they will manage, but at least public there is no chance.
basically they cannot jump आप अपने वाले रास्ते पे ही चलोगे आउटसाइड
Or one more question. Now you can see each address, okay, same address because Ethereum, Binance, Tron, they follow same algorithm. So address you can see that 0x and same. So from the Ethereum, let's say I try to send to the Tron same address. Okay. So coin will not go to the Tron, coin will go to the Ethereum network itself. And you will lose that coin. Okay. If you don't have control over your private key, otherwise you will lose that coin. So one incident happened with our that wallet. So in the validation, okay, since Tron and Ethereum following same algorithm, right? So I validated this, okay, like algorithm address is correct or not. So what they try to do from the Tron, they try to do send to the Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum is another wallet. So at the my side, I validated, but this is the library. So address 0x is the same. This thing. Okay, just one mistake. Tron algorithm is the same, but Tron show as the T. It's not 0x. Okay, but if you get that private key from the address, okay, display address is different, but private key is like again that hexadecimal things, right? So Tron, Ethereum, both are same algorithm, hexadecimal thing. Just thing is that Ethereum showing as a 0x, Tron encode this thing just to show as a T, start with T. Okay, so they're sending to the like Ethereum, okay, and I validated this as the correct address, okay, and it was around 5 crore amount. Okay, so now lucky that another wallet which they sent, we have control over it. Okay, so they thought this Tron will go to the what like no, how to explain this?
interesting case of bankruptcy
No, not bankruptcy. Okay, one thing is that they think they're sending to the Tron address, okay, but by default they send to the Ethereum address. This is the simplest thing, and this was amount around 5 crore, I guess. So they're saying, okay, we are sending, why we are not seeing in the Tron address, but by mistake they sent to the Ethereum address. Okay, so luckily that Ethereum address which they sent, this is in our control. Okay, so we manage these things. Means it's not straightforward managing. That key is also not in our control because that key is in the, okay, I will show you. Okay, in the next screen there is cold wallet thing. So this is like cold wallets. It's like pen drive. It's not connected. Yeah. So
let them sleep with the back.
okay, any question?
Sir, is the currency managed in the ledger? Like
Currency?
one address can hold multiple currencies.
Correct.
So are they managed in ledger also?
Yeah, they manage. That's why they show one address show. Okay, Like in the Explorer, I just shown you that one address have multiple tokens, right? So that's how they manage in the ledger.
Okay, so it is giving the value first.
Yes, yes. Okay, the Explorer which I show, they are not taking balance from their database. They are reading blockchain, ledger, and they are showing balances. Okay, so whatever website you see, it's not like database, our Amazon database, they are adding balance. No, they are reading from the blockchain. Any doubt?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, has you told that when you are trying to send an Tron address and you send it to Ethereum, some like vice versa. So it is manageable to be difficult when we have multiple currencies, right? It's not suitable to have multiple currencies in same address.
No. One thing is first my mistake. I rely on the library to check the address, and library checking that core private public key means that algorithm is same. They saying that okay, it's correct address, but later on I added that if it's Tron, then it should start with T. That extra validation I have added. So you are saying that how to manage multiple, right? So sending multiples. So obviously you are sending to Tron. Validation should be proper. Like Tron addresses start with T, then it should be T, not 0x.
Okay. So is it possibility like I have balance of multiple currency. I'm trying to send Tron to Tron, but I'm sending excess amount, which I don't have the tokens. So it will take from other coins or it will reject my transaction.
You are sending Tron, right?
Yeah. I'm
And
trying.
you don't have enough Tron.
Yeah.
So it's basic question that is it collected from other currencies?
No.
So it's not exchange, so it will not.
No, it will not collect from other currency.
Okay.
Even in the next slide, I will means in the next session I will explain this sending of tokens. So in the tokens also, normally all tokens depend on the gas fee, and gas fee is nothing but whatever the network has native currency. So Ethereum has ETH, Tron have that TRX currency. So you cannot send token without that your base currency.
Yes, in order to send different currencies, we should keep some
Base currency.
balance.
Yes.
Then only we can.
Yes.
So here there is no like exchange something like we have currency exchange.
No.
Okay.
We are run multiple wallets. So we are copying from other wallets, and that's how we are managing these things.
That's
एटलीस्ट बेसिक आइडिया तो आया क्या ब्लॉकचेन क्या है करके, मतलब वर्थ था क्या ये सेशन?
yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
समझा गया?
इतनी इंफॉर्मेशन तो इतने सारे आर्टिकल्स पढ़ के भी नहीं आई जितनी तेरे से चाहिए। मैं बोल रहा हूँ इतनी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन नेट पे ढूंढने जाते तो मिलती नहीं एक साथ।
And we have to search on the internet one by one. That is also matter.
मैं वही बोल
क्या बोल रहे हैं?
मैं चैट जीपीटी में आपको सब मिल जाएगा।
But again we have to explain it ना, कहाँ से कहाँ से।
अभी जो मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया था कि बिटकॉइन एज अपना कैश ट्रांजैक्शन जैसा चलता है, मतलब मुझे 2 रुपए देने हैं, ओके, तो मुझे लेट्स से मेरे पास 10 रुपीज का नोट है, तो मुझे 10 रुपीज देना पड़ेगा और 8 रुपीज वापस देना पड़ेगा, राइट? तो मैंने जब ये डेवलपमेंट स्टार्ट किया तो ये पता नहीं था मुझे, ओके, तो ये पूरा जैसे लर्न करते गए वैसे आया। तो मैंने एक एक्स्ट्रा ट्रांजैक्शन देखा कि मैंने अमाउंट सेंड किया तो मुझे वापस क्यों आया अमाउंट, तो ये कंसेप्ट नहीं पता था। फिर मैंने लर्न किया कि ये इनपुट एक्स्ट्रा क्यों आया, फिर एक्सप्लेनेशन में आया कि ये अनस्पेंड करके कंसेप्ट है। तो बिटकॉइन जो भी अमाउंट है लाइक डायरेक्ट बेचता है, उसका जो चेंज है वापस अपने को बेचता है। तो ओके, सबसे बेसिक जब स्टार्ट किया था तो हम लिसन करते थे कोई पैसे आए हैं क्या, तो हमने सेंड किया, फिर भी हमें नोटिफिकेशन आता है कि तुम्हारे पास पैसे आए। तो इट्स लाइक कि हमने रिसीव मतलब किसने सेंड नहीं किया, तो फिर भी नोटिफिकेशन आ रहे थे कि पैसे आ गए करके। तो उस टाइम पता चला कि ऐसा चीज रहता है करके। तो लाइक 2017 से स्टार्ट किया था, हमें छोटे मोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स आए थे, तो ये धीरे धीरे बढ़ते गए। Okay. No question, Vaibhav?
No, sir, all good.
On next slide. वैभव भाई, वैभव थैंक यू. पीपीटी तुम्हें थीम तुम्हारा ही कॉपी किया है मैंने.
No problem, sir.
थैंक यू टीम, डरना मत इतनी सारी स्लाइड्स देख के. Kunal will explain us in a very
नेक्स्ट सेशन कब है? मंडे?
not next Friday.
नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे नहीं पॉसिबल.
We
डाउट लेकर.
have some
हाँ,
Wednesday.
अभी भी कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं, 10 ही बच्चे.
No,
ओके.
You give out question.
यस योगिता.
Kunal, it was a very good session. I have question.
यस योगिता.
Hello, can you hear me now?
यस.
you can come and tell us here.
You want me to walk over there? Actually, उधर जो बात कर रहे हैं ना सब अंदर, तो बाकियों का आवाज इधर नहीं आता है कॉल में. सिर्फ जो पास में बैठे हैं कुणाल के, वही आवाज आ रहा है. जो आप लोग बीच बीच में कोई लोग उधर पूछ रहे थे क्वेश्चंस, तो हम लोग को क्वेश्चन नहीं सुनाई दे रहा था. Still not? I think I need to go there. It's not good, I think. तर ऐकून हा कावर म्हणतोय ऐकून येत. Who can confirm if I'm audible or not? Few people
Yes.
are saying that I am and you are saying
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Here in front of me, this voice saying that I am not audible. Okay. My question is not basically on the content of the slide, but I'm really curious that Kunal mentioned that few small projects came a few years ago, and I believe that there are still few ongoing projects. So could you shed some light on that? We really would like to know what crypto related projects we have and how much of whatever is presented now in the slides, how much of it was actually implemented or achieved.
You want to mention all projects?
Not all, but the nature, like maybe few that you think are significant for like a turning point, and how they became the turning point, like how
Okay.
you started from slow and what you found exactly that thing which made a certain project a turning point.
Okay. So in 2017, we got some small project. They just it's Bitcoin wallet. So they just want to hold their own keys. Okay. This was a small project. They just have to create the wallet, hold keys, send that money from that wallet. Okay. So this is the just small wallet they wanted. So from this, we got idea. Okay, the Bitcoin things, because before 2017, I just heard, but I didn't like go into depth what is the Bitcoin and that things. Okay. So after this small project of Bitcoin wallet, we started exploring. Then we got, okay, there is Ethereum also, smart contract also. And then we thought, okay, in the 2017 in India, there was just two to three exchanges. Okay. And they're also adding, like providing 2 to 3 coins, not more coins. But as compared to another exchanges on that US or others, they're providing a little bit more coins. So we got one window, but it's not successful, unfortunately. So we started creating our own exchange in the 2017. But problem happened that we already added Bitcoin, Ethereum, but just launching, like we are going to launch in, let's say, next month, and India announced that they are like banning Bitcoins. So this is like setback for us. Like we are ready with that exchange thing because of that small project. We are build our own exchange with 2-3 coins, and but unfortunately it didn't go live. But what happened because of this our experience, later on we got some more coins project like wallet systems, Bitcoin system, where we have to store the Bitcoins, like send the Bitcoins, that things. later on we got some another P2P system. It's again related to Bitcoin that we got. Okay, so this how we got like bigger project, which we started with this smaller, like just small Bitcoin.
Now, are any of these are still live?
Yes, wallets. We have Bitcoin wallets, Ethereum wallets, Tron, Solana, Binance, 6-7, which are live wallets. Okay, and on the Ethereum itself or Tron itself, USDT stablecoin. Lots of transaction going on this stablecoin, USDT, USDC. So these are live, and yes, client is using it.
So we act as exchange here?
No, wallet.
Just a wallet, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Still good, very good.
Exchange, there is P2P. Just recently, actually, we are not handling it. Okay, I mean, not handling means there is P2P system again related to coins. Okay, so that we already given last year, but client has something related to like legal things. So they have just started, and they are exploring these things P2P. This is our second live things.
Okay.
Okay, second live things means second category. Otherwise, wallets we have provided to many clients.
Okay. So wallet consumers are more for us.
We will have a different session for that for sure. Whoever is interested in this information, as the other team members are also joined this meeting. So let's close this channel for now. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kunal sir. Bye bye.
It was really good.
Thank you, sir.
कितने सारे
क्या हो?
stop recording and then close.
You started right recording.
Stop.